Trading ideas for the week of April 4th, 2022. With the way the gas prices are, especially in California, I thought that this was a timely cartoon indicating what's going on with the prices of commodities and especially with oil and gasoline around the country. Before we start with the ideas, I thought being at the end of the first quarter in 2022, it wasn't a special quarter. And I call it what a first quarter we had. And these are some of the facts for the first of the quarter and some really things in the historical way that has happened. First of all, in global bonds, this was the worst drawdown ever for the quarter. US bonds, they had the third worst first quarter since the Civil War. US yield curve is the greatest quarter one flattening ever. Commodities, the best start to a year ever. Oil, this was the best start to a year since 1999. And regular gasoline at the pump, it was the fastest rise ever to record highs. US stocks, it was the third biggest short squeeze rebound in March since the collapse of Lehman Brothers after the worst start to a year for stocks since 2009. And it was the second worst in over 30 years. So just a food for thought. We always learn from history and we like to proceed to see what will happen in the upcoming weeks, months, and years. As far as the upcoming week, some of the activities happening, economic activities internationally, which you should pay attention, and they could be a trading and investing potential. Or on Monday, we will have Spain with this unemployment change and with tourist arrivals, which are pretty important. And we discussed it in our market analysis on Saturday, the effect of it on, especially in emerging developing countries, as well as international markets. Turkey will have their inflation and then PPI number, which is the from the institution side of things or manufacturing side of things, as far as the producers' inflation. Mexico will have their consumer confidence, and South Korea also will have its inflation numbers. It's important to pay attention to Australia. We will have interest rate decisions, and Russia will have their GDP numbers. As far as Tuesday, we have South Africa, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, the Euro area as a whole, Brazil, China, and India. They will come with their PMI numbers. And as well as United States will have their ISM services, the PMI numbers. And basically just to review, the PMI stands for the Purchasing Managers Index, and it is an indicator of economic health for the manufacturing and service sectors. So it's manufacturing, non-manufacturing. So some of the PMIs that you see in these countries, some of them are from the manufacturing, some are from the non-manufacturing. So we definitely want to pay attention to that. On Wednesday, we have the Euro area will have, again, inflation rate related, the PPI. And this is a biggie. We have United States with their FOMC minutes 2 weeks ago, as you recall, on Wednesday, Chairman Powell came out and reviewed the decision with increasing 0.25% on interest rates, short-term interest rates, the Fed rates. What you have to pay attention is these are very important to see what the minutes indicate as far as how the voting went and how was the language. One of the interesting things for this coming week, and I think more weeks to come, there are going to be many, many central bankers going around and speaking. So pay attention from Australia to United Kingdom to Europe, and of course, many of the Fed presidents in the United States. So please pay attention to that. Also at 7:30 Pacific time, we will have the crude oil inventories. Again, we want to pay attention to that. Really, the couple of interesting earnings that were coming on the Wednesday, I thought that will be just an indication of, in a cannabis arena, which is the Tilray, the earnings of before the open, with all the, what is happening from the legislative arena. It will be interesting to see how their projection is and what kind of a year did they have. So it will be an interesting play. And then earnings, it will be Levi's Jeans, and that will be after the close. And again, we want to pay attention to that, of course, with especially from the cost side of things, and see if they can manage to pass the cost of the goods in a sense to the consumers. In the past, they've been successful in doing that. On Thursday, we have the Euro area, and France, they will have the retail sales, and India will have the regional bank, their interest rate, the central bank interest rate decision. Mexico will have their inflation, and also they will also come with the monetary policy meeting minutes. Japan and Indonesia, they're going to have their consumer confidence number. Don't forget about gold trade. Gold is in a very interesting position. I call it in a twilight zone right now. And it is basically, it has been consolidating and anything can go. So in the past few weeks, it's been a little difficult to do the pure gold trade aggressively. But well, let's see if the trend will show us one way or another. The other two things we will have is the earnings will come for the open in Constellation, the alcoholic drinks, beverages, and Conagra. So pay attention to STZ and CAG. On Friday, we'll have Brazil with their inflation number. Turkey, Mexico, and Brazil will have their auto production. I want to put this in again because what is happening, and then we've talked about the non-durable goods, and we want to pay attention to the auto production, and China will have their vehicle sales. So that's the sector, but also it's indication of the economy, what's going on in China, especially from the consumer side. Russia will have their inflation, GDP, and also vehicle sales. We are paying attention, Russia, specifically because of the role it's playing in the whole geopolitical arena, with the commodities arena, and also pay attention to the ruble. We've had a big bounce in the ruble after what had happened, with all the sanctions going on. So ruble is an interesting play. Italy will have the retail sales, and I'll always make sure you follow the Baker Hughes rig count for the crude oil. Having said that, we want to also, as I said last week, we want to start with some screens of the week to maybe introduce you to something with the potential candidates for investing, as well as maybe some short-term trading. These are some pretty strong, especially from relative strength point of view, strong companies. These are the global leaders, so these are international taste to it. So these are 10 candidates. Again, they're pretty strong from the composite rating to earning per share to relative strength, and also the industries they're in, and also fundamentals. So watch for that, and then see if there's any one of them provide you with some kind of a potential. I also want to add, I chose one of them just for analysis. So just I let you continue with that. This is the Star Bulk Carriers, which is a shipping company from Greece. And obviously, the shipping companies have been pretty strong. So there's a lot of strength in that. So watch out for the breakout and see if this will continue the great performance it has been having. So you see a lot of green as far as many arenas from the fundamental point of view to technical. So this is from Finviz. As you can see, for the year, it's already up almost 34% year to date. And for the year, they're up about 114%. So there's a lot of strength. We are in the middle of almost like a channel. And also, basically, this could be a channel. We are, got a little bit of resistance, if any, right around 32. So watch for that. And This is on a weekly basis. I want to look at Hakinashi, what is happening with MACD. The stochastics is embedded. So that's strong. RSI is strong. Although it looks like overbought, but that can last for a long time. So just watch for that. Again, on a weekly basis, we are above the 20 week, we are above the 50 weeks, we are above the 200 weeks. So, and everything is scattered above each other. And we are not too far away from, let's say, 20 moving average. So once we get away from that, then expect to come back close to that. But so far, so good. So with that in mind, I wish you a wonderful week ahead and look forward to speaking with you next week. Thank you very much.